welcome to another episode of Casing the Joint, brought to you by the Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles. And we're here with an empty drinking glass today. But here on Casing the Joint, we like to talk about the small things in the museum so that you don't overlook them when you're walking past a big, enormous thing like this trolley, which we are going to talk about a little bit.
Which stretches out for city blocks.
Yes, it feels like it, especially when you have to move it. So what we have here is, this is heavy too. I always liked this. It's got some good weight to it. But this is a glass mug. Now on the one side, and I know it's difficult for you all to see on the camera because it's a clear glass and it's like a frosted, white on there. But there is an outline of the trolley. It says Boyertown Auto Body Works. And then on the other side, it has our upside down T logo for the Body Works. And then there's a date on the bottom, December 20th, 1985. And we think that this date was a company Christmas party. And this was like the little, giveaway to the employees, Christmas gift. And we think that we have a friend of ours, Jeff Oswald. Hi, Jeff. I hope you're watching.
Hi, Jeff.
Jeff used to work here at the Body Works, and he worked here in '85. And he thinks this is actually the last Christmas party that the company threw for the employees. The Body Works closed not too long after this in 1990. And the trolleys, which are featured on this glass, the trolley buses were one of the vehicles they were still making when the company closed in 1990. We have a case that has some Body Works memorabilia, I guess would be a good word for that. We have a couple of these in there. We also have things like employee badges and girly calendars. We laugh because
yeah, shockingly so. Surprisingly so.
They're not too scandalous. Don't worry. They're actually like glamour models, like 40s and 50s glamour models.
And they're from the 40s, you said, right? Okay,
yeah, they're beautiful. They're really nice, actually. They're really nice artwork and things like that. So this is one of the things, and this happened to be one of the giveaways that they had for their employees. So the trolley themselves, because that's kind of a cool story as well. And we have one of the original trolley buses that was built here, standing right behind us. And this is one of the first 15 built. They were made for Fairmount Park in Philadelphia, and you'll see written up on the sides and the front is Fairmount Park. It was for the celebration of the bicentennial, so 1976 or so, about 9 years before they gave out these mugs. And the park wanted some kind of nostalgic vehicle or a trolley type thing to drive around people in the park and to visit the different historic sites there. You'll see on your screen there a postcard depiction of one of those trolleys crossing the Schuylkill River. It was a big system. It was a neat thing, and they kind of wanted to go back to that for this bicentennial. And Boyertown Auto Body Works got that contract, for lack of a better term, and they did that by designing, a modern bus, but looked like one of these vintage trolleys. And what's really cool is we also have this brochure, which is the Fairmount Park's brochure. This is not a Body Works publication. This is something you get from the Fairmount Park. The Fairmount Park Commission, and this details, what you would see on your round trip ticket that you could buy. It has a map and it has all the different sites that they stop at. A round trip ticket was $1 for adults. It was 50 cents for children and 75 cents for senior citizens. So, and the trolleys would leave and return to the Tourist Center, which is listed at 16th Street and JFK Boulevard. That's Love Park is at 16th and JFK Boulevard. That gives you some idea of where this is in the city. So it would just kind of run a loop between there and all these different stops all day, and you could get on and off the trolley as many times as you wanted with this pass. And on the back is a message from the mayor of Philadelphia, who in 1976 was
Julia Serving.
Close. No. Frank Rizzo was
Okay.
the mayor.
Right.
And he says, for nearly half a century, starting in 1897, Philadelphians enjoyed summer rides on our open-air Fairmount Park trolleys. To celebrate our nation's bicentennial, we've brought them back, updated to the comfort of a modern bus. And that's the cool little brochure that you would get. And, you know, just because those original 15 were built and done with doesn't mean that Boyertown packed it in on the trolleys. They wanted to keep building these and kind of make, you know, another little, I don't know, industry here out of it or something, you know, another
Product.
Another product, yeah. They were, I think in the 80s, doing a lot of some government work. So this was, you know, something else to
I think in the
do.
80s also they were trying to be involved with the electric vehicles, and I have a feeling that
was
wasn't
kind of waning.
waning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the electric vehicles they were building here were really cool. They're probably a little ahead of the time for them to be practical. I think now they probably get a lot more traction with those than they did then. So yeah, this was like another product, like you say, that they wanted to offer. So we have sales literature that was done here by the Body Works. And I mean, this one, it doesn't say Fairmount Park trolley on this trolley, but it's obviously, this is the one, you know, it's the same design. Actually, it does on the back, not on the front, but it does on the side. But if you open it up, it kind of tells you about what the modern things are about these trolleys. You can be confident that all specifications are in total compliance with today's federal safety regulations. Heavy gauge steel welded frame is mounted on a Dodge M500 mobile home chassis, giving you maximum service with minimum maintenance. A Chrysler V8 440 cubic inch engine, and your drivers will be pleased to discover power brakes and steering, plus an automatic transmission. And now this one, I think, is advertising this specific size, which seated 31. They've got the layout here of how the seats are, but there were different sizes of trolleys that weren't all necessarily this size. And I'm also told that the woodwork inside, you have these wood window frames. If you go inside, the seats are wood. All that woodwork was done by the Boyertown Planing Mill, or the Boyertown Casket Company, which is pretty cool too, that they had some local businesses doing this. And this is a little later brochure than what I just read from, but this again is a Boyertown piece that they would have sold out, and they call it the Boyertown Trolley for a nostalgic trip back to the gay 90s. And this was really something that they were trying to sell to other cities. If you open this up, you know, we see photos of other trolleys that they made for other cities. It wasn't all just Fairmount Park. Some of the other cities on here represented with trolley photos: Fort Worth, Gatlinburg, St. Louis, and one of the lines in here that I really liked: "We at Boyertown want everyone to enjoy the trolley revival."
Revival.
A cool thing, and that's what they were doing, and they were really trying to sell these. It doesn't surprise me that this mug was a giveaway, because this was really something they were trying to push and sell. Unfortunately, you know, as I said in the beginning, this was only a few years before the Body Works went out of business in 1990. But when it did go out of business, the company was kind of split up. So the trolley portion of it was purchased by a different company, and they renamed it the Boyertown Trolley Corporation, and they moved it to Pensacola, Florida. And so for a while you could still buy Boyertown trolleys, but they came out of Pensacola, Florida. And I think they do still exist today. Their website exists, but they don't build anything anymore. They're mainly, it looks like, selling used trolleys or renting, leasing them. I think they have parts, available for them and stuff, but they're not really building them anymore like they were. So
how many of these do you think were built here?
I'm not sure. I mean, that would be a good question. It's hard to. You said how long this thing is. I mean, I know this is a big building, but can you imagine having multiples of these in here? It takes up a lot of space. I think that was actually one of the issues they had with them was they were taking up a lot of real estate in the factory, and it's hard to get that cost back.
And I'm sure there's other companies that do similar stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember several years ago, I was in Cooperstown, New York, to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And if you go in the warmer months, there's like remote parking, and there's a trolley that you would take. And I remember it was similar to this, and I was wondering, hey, I wonder if this is a Boyertown trolley. But
I know there were other companies that did them, because there was a local one around, but it was not Boyertown built.
Okay.
I don't know what happened to that one actually, but it's interesting. And it's not that long ago, really. This is 76, and they were building them up until I think the very end, really. So we'll try to get more information on how many they built or how many are left. That's another question I would like to know. It's my homework. I think of the original 15, this is the only one that's left, I believe. And you remember this, not many years ago, it was in pretty bad shape.
Yes.
So we fixed it up quite a bit. It looks a lot better than it did. And I don't know how long Fairmount Park used them, but not anymore. They don't. They have a different system. I think a little more modern system, obviously.
I'm not sure about that, because I remember, again, when this was in really bad shape, there was a couple guys who came here, and inside in the back was the framing for the benches and such. It's like wrought iron, angle iron, and there was a whole pile of them. And they came and got them because they were working.
They could reuse
and
them.
I believe they had something to do with Fairmount Park. So they still might have some down there.
Cool.
So, okay, viewers, I want you all to go down to Fairmount Park and scope around.
Ride the circuit.
Well, find them first, then you can ride the circuit. Yeah.
So that's the Boyertown glass mug, and it's one of, like I said, many Boyertown little items that we have here, from the Body Works days. And come check it out, and all that other cool little stuff in the case. There we go. And that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
So come check us out, and we'll see you next time.